Hi folks, today we're just going to have a quick look at the Nicolini motor. Every now and then we do get them damaged with courier damaged. It's just a quick little video just to show you how to replace the fan and the actual cowling, and maybe we can point out one or two tips as well just to make sure the motor is intact before you might fit it back onto the appliance. Okay, so what I've done is set it up on a couple of bits of wood because if this is a solid shaft motor, so it just gets it off the ground. It's nice and stable. This is a 7mm wrench, so we're just going to use that to undo the actual bolts. Okay, so now we can lift the actual cowling off the top and you can inspect the fan. In this case the fan is intact, so we're lucky. So basically it's just held together with two Phillips screws with a clip. Basically you need to make sure this isn't too close to the actual cowling itself, so you can move it, giving it 3 or 4mm off the shaft to give you a bit more movement in here, a bit more space in here, but obviously it shouldn't touch the inside of the cowling itself. So basically this just provides a bit of cooling for the actual motor, keeps it nice and cool. So in this case the screws are actually opposite each other, just take a note of that. Let's come off there, no problem. Put that back on there. So I'm just going to use a couple of screwdrivers. You can use a pry bar, probably be better. Just ever so gently going either side. So it's just a case of moving it up and down gently, and eventually it will come off the actual shaft. The bench is a little bit unstable where we're at, but you've got to be just a little bit careful you don't break the actual fins themselves. You really want the leverage underneath the actual outer part of the shaft itself. You could actually be forgiven for warming this up with like a heat gun or something like that. It might actually help you a bit more. But they are quite difficult to remove without damaging them. It should come off now. There we go. So obviously you can see the actual splines of the shaft itself there. That's what actually grips the fan. So I wouldn't probably advise you to put anything on there, just leave it nice and dry, and we'll put a new fan on. So basically get it nice and square. Got the clip on already, just make sure that's nice and slack, which it is. So we're going to use a rubber mallet and just keep it square when it goes on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use a socket and just take it down just a little bit. It doesn't want to be touching the actual outer part itself, but the important thing is it spins freely, so when you put the cowling on nothing catches. So I can spin the shaft. Yep, just catching there, so move that up a bit. So when you turn the shaft itself, nothing should be catching at all, which it isn't. So we can take that off, and now we can tighten that up. I think you could be forgiven for putting a bit of blue lock thread on there with the vibration that will come through the motor, but that looks pretty good to me. It spins nice and freely and it's not moving up and down. So now we can put the outer cowling back on. It doesn't matter which hole goes where, there's no issue there. So again, it just needs to be nice and square. Found out all our bolts. And it's just simply a case of putting them back in. We won't do that up fully tight yet. And just go all the way around. So now we can tighten them all up. They're all located. So we're assuming this has been sort of damaged in transit, which it has, or dropped. Always just check the feet, because they do get cracked. These are just cast, so just make sure the feet are not cracked or anything like that. The capacitor on the side, make sure that's not broken or bent or damaged anywhere. The wires are all right. Sometimes these actual top cowling gets damaged, so just keep an eye out for that. Okay, so that's basically how to replace a damaged fan and outer cowling on a Nicolini motor. If there's anything else you want us to look at, feel free to comment underneath the video, and please like and subscribe. Check out the competition on our webpage, and we'll see you soon.